that is in no way a reflection of you or your self-worth or your person. Do you understand? Never. So don't ever let anyone's rejection or their negative emotion make you feel like less than. Ever. That's not how it works. Never take it personally. It's never an indication of your self-worth or what kind of person you are. So never let... yo people, I'm back with another video. This one is a very interesting concept that I like to live my life by. I feel like it's a very helpful mindset that can be beneficial for business, women, if you're a man, relationships, kind of any kind of interpersonal dynamic in life. So it's very important to like understand, internalize, and always refer back to as a framework and keep applying it. So it's the idea that rejection is always better than regret. And my favorite phrase and explanation for it is rejection stings, but regret lingers. Do you know what I mean? Rejection stings, but regret lingers. So let's get into it, man. All the various reasons and what that kind of means, innit? So in the most obvious sense, let's say you're a guy, a young guy, you're out, wherever you are, you see a girl, you think she's nice, you think she's attractive, you want to go talk to her, you're looking and you're thinking, oh, should I chat to her? Oh my God, should I not? Like, you're a bit nervous, you're a bit shy, like, oh, you don't chat to her. Really nice girl, you don't speak to her, you don't say anything to her, she walks away, you get home, you start thinking, oh man, what could have happened if I spoke to her girl, Maybe that was my future wife. Maybe that was my girlfriend. Maybe that could have been whatever. You just start thinking and you think about it and you think about it. Maybe the next day you think about it again. And then maybe a week goes past, you forget about it. But then it just comes to your mind, something reminds you, you think about it again, you think, oh man, what if? You just keep thinking about it and it pains you because the what if. Life is, the possibilities are endless. There's so many things that could have happened. Anything could have happened. Who's to say that couldn't have been your future wife? The mother of your kids, you'll never know, innit? But you were too pussy to do anything, to chat to her, to ask her out. So ultimately, it boils down to this fear that guys, girls, men, women, boys, girls alike have. It's the fear of rejection. Like, we're scared to hear no. We're scared to get like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ask someone something, they say no. You ask someone out, you reject your business proposal, you hang up the phone. We're scared of all that. But the thing is, it's better to get rejected up front than to avoid the confrontation, because regret is so much worse. Because look, you can think of it for time. Like, if you get rejected, it's quick. It's like that. If you go to talk to a girl or whatever, and she says, oh, I've got a boyfriend, or she's not interested, or... You know what I'm saying? Quick interaction, and you're like, well, I tried. There's not much I can really do. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go like on a whole, improve your whole life mission, sure, like, yeah, that'll take a while. But other than that, if there's a business conversation, you need to make a call, you call, and they say not interested, done. But if you don't call, or you take too long to call, or you take too long to make action, you think, oh, what would have happened if I move quickly or if I move decisively? So you got to jump over that, and it's a psychological hurdle. It's not a real hurdle, because ultimately, and this is a thing that is a very important concept as well, everybody is a human being. So what I mean by that is 99% of people are much nicer than we think in our head. Like, in your head, or I don't know, maybe it's just me, when I'm thinking of scenarios that I'm delaying doing, I always think of the worst case scenario. I always think of, I'm gonna call someone and I'm like, don't flipping call me, you idiot. Don't ever do that again. Like, that's what I'm thinking they're gonna say to me. And then I'm like, oh, I'm not trying to hear that. Which is funny, because if that actually happened in real life, I deal with it much better than what I think I would. Do you know what I'm saying? So in my mind, I'm scared of something they'll say. And then in my mind, I'm a weaker version of me, if that makes sense. So, like, because I know this, because in practice, I didn't know this till it actually happened. Well, not exactly like that. But for example, relating it to myself, I was fearful or apprehensive about making a business call in case the person like rejected or they weren't interested in... Like, I don't want my service to get rejected, innit? I was scared. But eventually I got on a call, or I got on some calls. I had a bunch of calls. And people had objections. And the first thing I started noticing is nobody like harshly reject. Nobody is like malevolent or like, I don't know what the word is, but nobody's like an arsehole, basically. Nobody is actually really, like, even people who are arseholes don't try to be arseholes to strangers unnecessarily. Like, if you call someone and they're an arsehole, The worst thing they're gonna do, which I don't even think really happens, the rudest thing they could do is just your mid-sentence say they hang up the phone. That would hurt. But I don't think people even do that. Nothing they might say is not interested. And then you're like, well, if they're not interested, they'll lock off the phone. But it's like, my point is, nobody's actually as, and if it's a male in a film, if you're gonna go talk to a girl, the worst thing that you could probably imagine is you walk up to a girl, you try to talk to her, you start stuttering, and she tells you you're a loser, weirdo, get away from her. That's what she said. That's the worst thing that could probably happen. That's the first thing you could probably imagine. But that never happens. If you go talk to a stranger, boy, girl, business, client, even if the person's not interested in what you have to sell, whether it's yourself or business, nobody is malevolent or malicious, that's the word. Nobody's malicious. Nobody will be like, get away from me, or no, get out, like, nobody does that. Nobody does that. And from what I've noticed, me personally, I'm much more resilient in real life than I have this version of myself in these scenarios, that makes sense. So when I picture like a client or something, or if I'm talking to someone that's new, like a networking or whatever, when I'm picturing it going wrong in my head for whatever reason, I always feel like they'll say something and it'll really upset me, like it'll really break, or like I won't even be able to survive past that. Like in my head, I just die. Do you know what I mean? In my head, I just die. But like when I've been in this situation where like I've had the objection or rejection, or I've talking to someone and they haven't received it, I deal with it so much like it's like, oh well. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's really like war for ducks back. Like when it happens in real life, I'm like, oh yeah. Like if I'm on the phone and someone's giving it to me, or they're like, they're kind of grilling me, or they're just not, I'm like, okay, I can maneuver this better, or they're not interested. I can maneuver it much better in real life than that, because I'm not a wimp, and you're probably not a wimp either. You've got life experience, you've been through things, like you're well equipped, you're more equipped than you probably lead yourself to believe. So if it's talking to a stranger or a business client, the fear of rejection is just exactly that. It's kind of like it all exists in your head. Reality is never as scary as what you picture it to be, and you're more competent than you believe yourself to be. So you need to take that action. Never allow that fear to stop you from taking action. And actually, that reminds me, I was at Santander's concert the other day. He shut down O2 2000. Big up, yeah. He had a conversation about this. He stopped, he talked to the audience. He said, London, there's two kinds of fears. He said, there's good fear and there's bad fear. He said, good fear is like, he said he was on stage like, I just learned how to play guitar, and a part of me is scared, like, in front of playing in front of you guys. I'm not sure if I should do it, like, but I'm still gonna do it. And I was like, yeah, do it. Like, should I do this? Like, yeah. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Bad fear is the bad fear. He was like, if you want to talk to that girl, you want to write a song, you want to do this, and you think, I wonder what people might say, and then you don't do it. So bad fear is the fear that stops you, paralyzes you. He said, you got to avoid the bad fears and chase the good fears. So you're scared to do it, but you still take the action, you still talk to that person, you still call that client, you still produce whatever, you put your stuff out there. So he said, stay in touch with your good fears and your bad fears. And it basically reminded me of my life concept of rejection stings, but regret lingers. Because you're only scared to do things because you picture it not working in your favor. If you had the mindset, which is this like a tangent, but very important, if you had the mindset that everything you were going to do worked, like you knew if you went to talk to that girl, she's feeling you're getting her number. You knew if you called this business client and pitched this, you're closing that sale. You knew that if you go to this networking event, everybody's taking your business card. If you knew this, then you'd have an aura like confidence. You'd deliver, you'd go in, you know what I mean? You'd be smooth. And counterintuitively, that's the way you have to behave for success in these things. Because at the end of the day, it's not binary. Do you know what I'm saying? If you're talking to a girl, if you're talking to a client, the way you interact changes. So if you actually come in with this, she's gonna reject me, she's not gonna like what I'm saying, she's gonna think I'm a loser. If that's what you're thinking, but you get the balls to go talk to her, well done. But if that's what you're thinking in your head, you're decreasing. You're not 100% gonna fail, but you're decreasing your likelihood of succeeding, because you're projecting onto yourself, and whether it may be deep in your unconscious or your body language, it's going to project that you're scared of this failure, you're scared. So when you're taking these actions, when you're going in, you have to look, before you go in, picture it going wrong all the ways it could go. Like, picture her dissing you, picture the client hanging up the phone, picture in your head. So go through the rejections in your head. Jordan Peterson said that's what thinking is. Thinking is creating all of these avatars that go into your imaginary worlds, you put them through scenarios, and if it's a scenario fails, the avatar dies, and then you're like, okay, well, I'm not going to do that. I ran it through in my head. And then if it succeeds, you're like, okay, I'm going to try it and go through that. So that's exactly what you should do. Picture the scenario, whatever it's talking to the client, talking to the girl. Picture it all the ways it could go wrong. Then circumvent all of that. You know what I'm saying? If you're like, oh, I might stutter. Before you speak, start, get your voice moving, innit? If you're like, oh, like, you know what I'm saying, I might do something clumsy, make sure you don't do, my breath might smell, put some gum in. Client might have all these objections. Get your objection shit out. Write a script. You know what I'm saying? Be prepared. And then when you're just about to take it, picture success. Radiate absolute confidence with whatever you're about to do. If you're about to go talk to a girl, talk to her like you know this girl is about to give you her number. Absolute confidence. Talk to her like a G. You know what I'm saying? Go in, absolute confidence. If it's a client, talk to him like this is your 100th phone call today, and if he doesn't buy, he's an idiot. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've done this 100 times before. Like, it's not even whether you should buy or not buy. It's like, you're gonna buy, and if you don't buy, you're lost. You know what I'm saying? That's what you gotta have. You in life, yeah? Taking on the tangent, but this is what you have to do. You have to have this aura of you're always gonna do things, or things are destined for you, and if they don't work out, they're lost. Whatever it is. If it's a client, if it's a girl, if it's a friend, they're lost. Someone done you wrong, someone left, they're lost. You know what I'm saying? Never have this self-defeating, scared, rejection mindset. None of that, man. You have to consciously realize it, because you might not even realize that you had this problem or you're going through this. You might have just looked at someone or been in a situation like, oh, I'm not going to do that. But you don't even know why. It's because you're scared of getting rejection. Scared of getting rejected. But you'll think of it and then you regret it, and you spend more mental effort reminiscing, thinking on your lack of action. And the more you think of your lack of action, the less likely you are to take action the next time you do. And when you do take that action, you're gonna put yourself down because you're like, oh, I don't usually do this, I can't do this. No. You need to realize it. Realize it's okay to be scared. Fear shows you what you need to do, what shows you, like, you know, it's an uncomfortable situation, something you've never done before, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. You need to pierce through that, take the action. So it's okay to be scared. Acknowledge it. Once you acknowledge it, you're like, oh yeah, right, I'm scared, I'm a bit nervous. Acknowledge it, then I'm like, I'm gonna do this anyway. I'm saying just do it. So once you do it, you've pictured all the ways, it could go wrong. And then you're like, okay, well, I don't die in any of these scenarios. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'll be all right after this. Go do it, and then just before you do it, picture the success. Act like it's already happened. Bro, if you walk up to a girl, yeah, with like a cheeky smile on your face, as if you've gone into the future and you know you're already gonna get a number, and you walk to her and you talk to her with a confidence like you already know you're gonna get the number. Like, not saying 100% of the time you're gonna get the number, but you're gonna get the number. Do you understand? Even she'll be looking like, why is this guy so confident? Like, what? Like, if you got this, like, what does he know that I don't know? She'll be thinking, right, I'm missing out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Do you understand? You're talking to a client and you're talking about your thing, like you're so confident about it. You're talking like, if you don't buy, like, if you're talking with, like, if you don't buy or if you don't take the service on, like you're an idiot. Like, I'm not saying, like, you don't tell a client he's an idiot, but if you talk with such confidence, such suave, such expertise in what you're saying, such deliverability, you know what I'm saying? They'll be like, do you know what? This guy really knows what he's talking about. If I don't buy, there's something wrong with me. Do you understand? So you have to lead and dictate. The world is a mirror, man. What you show to the world, it'll project back to you, I promise. So always remember, choose it, because look, and at the end of the day, it might go wrong sometimes, but don't ever let that, this is very, very, very important. Don't ever let someone's rejection of your proposal, because everything you're doing at the end of this, a proposal, affect you or your mood. Don't ever let that impact you, because even if you ask a girl for a number, you ask her and she says no, you try to pitch your product, your service to a client and say no, that is in no way a reflection of you or your self-worth or your person. Do you understand? Never. So don't ever let anyone's rejection or their negative emotion make you feel like less than. Ever. That's not how it works. Anybody's influence on you, never take anything personal in it. Never take anything personal, because it never is. Whatever anybody projects onto you, even if this is friends, any situation outside of all these dynamics, any negativity, any bad vibes, anything someone puts on you, never take it personally, because it's got nothing to do with you. It's a reflection of them on you. So never let that lower your sense of self-worth, innit? And on that, I think that's a good way to wrap it up. So yeah, key takeaways, innit? Always choose the potential rejection over the certain regret, because it's potential rejection with 100% regret, because if you don't do it, you'll think, oh, why didn't I do it? So take it, and when you're going to do these things that you're scared of being rejected for, you're worried about, you're fearful about, picture all the ways it could go wrong in your head. Circumvent every way that's in your control. If your breath smells, put a mint in. If it's talking to a client, write down your script. Just before you take the action, picture success. Picture absolute success. Radiate the confidence of someone that's done this 100 times before. If you don't know what that is or you haven't, just picture it. Like, what would someone who's confident do in this scenario? What would someone who's done this 100 times do? If this was an easy scenario, if this is something I could easily achieve, how would I act? Do that. Research. Look, this is the internet. You can go research all these things as well. Act. And then maybe you succeed and now you're happy and now your actual confidence does go up, and now next time you attack it, you're even better scenario. Bonus, you're a G, leveled up. If it goes wrong, no, you still leveled up because you took action. You still leveled up because you took action. And you've learned something because now you're like, okay, how did I approach it differently? But never let the rejection or the no or the negativity or whatever it is to lower your sense of self-worth. Never take it personally. It's never an indication of your self-worth or what kind of person you are. So never let someone, if you ask someone out and they say no, or you chat to a client and they say no, or you get 100 rejections in a day, never let that impact your sense of self-worth, innit? That's me. Conclusion, innit? Chase the good fears, not the bad fears, innit? Love.